Well, by now, our fantasy football champion has been crowned, and the NFL season is coming to an end while the new year begins. But you know what that also means? Somehow that BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting.
That's right. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen.
With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, and UFC.
Nice. Head to BetOnline today, and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit.
BetOnline, the game starts here. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad. And on this podcast, Evan gets nutrition fact-checked.
And on this podcast, Kevin tells us, well, not that he's a defensive driver, but he needs to become more of a defensive scooter? Scooterer? Scooterist?
We'll allow it. Cheers.
Allow it. Cheers, bud.
The 2025 Dumb Dads are here.
Let the new chaos begin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the new year. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been sick.
Can you tell in our voices that we... Yeah. Oh, my God.
I made the not fatal mistake. It's not that bad. But I made the
This is AI Kevin.
I made the
we have
mistake
news.
of not, like, my son gets a cold. I don't usually catch it. My kids are like, my wife will get it. Like, that's like one of the ones I don't know. I just don't get.
Yeah, they get new colds.
I just don't get colds.
Yeah, I had that one before. Tried it, didn't like it.
I got this one. I got this 2024 model. And
are you recovering, or are you transferring it to me at this point?
remember, I'm fine. This is just I'm totally fine. Yesterday would not have been able to do this podcast because I think my voice was shot. The day before is when I was sick. But you know, you got to finish winter strong. Or weak because you have a cold.
I don't know. Or trip at the finish line into the new year. That's usually how it feels. Yeah, I mean, winter break was filled with that. Yeah. I got mine early. I was like my daughter had it like at the end of school.
Yeah.
And then I got it next, and I was like, this sucks. But I don't know, man. If you're gonna catch a winter cold, might as well get it over with early. And then then when I was like over it, then that's when we got our COVID and flu vaccinations. And then I was like, had a hard couple days with it. And then I kind of got sick again. And it was like, oh, wait a second. This is like all of my winter break. What is happening? But then, then it moved to in-law lives with us, my son, my wife. And it was like, even though I was kind of done being sick, like everyone else being sick, it's like, everyone's kind of pulling the mood. Somebody's kind of pulling the mood down at some point.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, this sucks.
It's funny how, and I think, we talked about it on the last podcast, which was a couple weeks ago, because we took the week off for New Year's and we're on a break.
So give us one, huh?
Give us a break. But we talked about this, about how, like, because Thanksgiving was so late, that the Christmas break came fast. Yeah. And I feel like because of that, it was like a full-on sprint to do stuff. Yeah. And, getting colds was just like, I don't got time for this, pal.
I don't have time to feel like this.
Yeah. I don't have time to feel like
that. And then you know what I did? Like,
God, that's a great shirt. I don't have time to feel like this.
Towards the end of winter break, we actually did have exterior outlets installed around my house because we had one only.
What day did you get it installed?
It was like the 20th.
December 20th.
We contacted the electrician company that we sourced, and we're all excited on like the 8th or the 4th or something like that. And we were like, we'll try to get it in. Like, maybe we can still put some stuff up outside and be excited about it. But like, I don't want to get too boring about it, but like city approvals, all things pending at the same time. They were doing all of it at once, pulling permits, everything at once. So the city needed to come out and choose and to make sure that the type of panel we wanted to upgrade to would be acceptable in the location that it was. Mm-hmm. But they took like 2.5 weeks to even get to our house, to even just go, it looks fine, so that they could start any of it. So it was like, anyway, electricians quoted us 2-day job. 5 days later, they're still like nitpicking, making sure everything is done. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
The 22nd, I think, was the day, or the 23rd was the official day. They were totally done. So it was like,
So you didn't do a hustle for it. You just
because
passed this year on holiday lights.
Now, two things. One, I did do a hustle, which like I think even last year we bought these like nice little like 3-foot trees that like are just like a little twig tree that looks nice lit up. I don't know how to describe it. They look nice. Classy looking, I guess, classic kind of winter looking.
Yeah.
I like pulled those open and like plugged them in the new like front part of the house just because it was like, I don't know, it's something, know, and I hung these like little icicle lights in the front. They were off center because the plug didn't reach, but it didn't really matter because they were up. Like it was just kind of like trying to do something, and our kids had said a couple things like, we're going out to look at all these lights. We don't have any lights. And it was like, I know, but the electricians are dragging their feet on this, it was like, The other side of it is I decided to go with permanent lights as opposed to putting up Christmas lights each year, but I don't want to rush putting those up.
No.
They're by a company called Govee, which I never really heard of, but they seem to be kind of the new standard of like home controlled smart light kind of thing. Yeah. So like they'll go around the perimeter and you can make them whatever color you want, and you make them dance in patterns and all that kind of stuff if you wish. But
we've got
like
a couple neighbors that have them.
But the rest of the year, you can you can like control individual ones. So like you can just like illuminate the corners of your home. So we're like, you know what? Let's just move that way. And if it happens this year, it happens. If it doesn't, it's not going to, which is fine. But it still doesn't mean like I can't do. I'll probably do it in the next couple of weeks or something, just so they're up. But
we'll check in.
That's the kind of thing I don't want to rush. You can kind of rush. Like I said, I threw up the trees, whatever, just to kind of get some atmosphere going. But ultimately, the timing just drug on and on and on. So all good. But
I'm so excited to check in and see if you actually do it in 2 or 3 weeks, or if it's like, listen, I want to.
I know, but I mean,
I've got all this stuff.
There's all these things that happen, and then you run out of time. I really would like to. I think it would actually. I think, I don't know if you're like me with this. Like, I don't rely all of my information on YouTube, but I get like Cliff's Notes version from 2 or 3 people that explain something very cohesively.
Yeah.
To make a decision whether or not I want to go for something, and then from there on out, it's kind of up to me to figure out in my own. Like the way they did it will not happen at my house. My house is different than their house. Right. But like the points that they're making of what I was looking for, I think I got enough information. Yeah. It's like I'm there with it. So I'm excited to do it. I just got to kind of map out in my head like how they go up and where and all that stuff. Because permanent starts with the capital P. You know what I mean? Like once you stick it there, of course you can move it. But the idea is you do it right the first time. Right. So I think there's going to be a lot of measuring first. Mm-hmm. But hopefully you do check in with me in a couple weeks and they're up.
That'd be great.
And then we can talk about that as opposed to, did you put them up? And I'm like, no. And everyone's like, yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah. That's what we figured was going to happen. Because you get sick again after the kids got back from school and everyone came back with colds. And you get sick again.
And you don't think of this thing. And then the kids have a play date and it just
and it never ends. And it never fucking ends.
Then the box of lights just stays on a chair that nobody sits at for
It's
months.
near the front door right now, I can tell you that.
You just walk past it at night when you're about to go to bed and you're like,
it's close to going outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
We'll see. God, we'll check back in.
Let's. But it's a good break overall. I mean, it's long. It's 3 weeks long here in LA with the kids. 3 weeks.
It was.
Children in your house.
It was. I mean, we have it a little nicer. My wife has a break from work for 2 weeks. So 2 of those 3 weeks, she's home with the kids, which I know she really likes and appreciates. So she's not like off work and they're at school. And it's like, oh, that kind of stinks. It's like, well, everybody's kind of off. So we can kind of enjoy that.
I remember that from last year that she did kind of enjoy getting to have the time. And when she had her hiatus in between the two jobs, that was like, the time is nice, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Because you choose to make the most of it or whatever. I mean, that's kind of, we felt bad about like, we're thinking like, we did the advent calendar thing, and where it's like an activity each day. But towards the end of it, we were like pushing it because the kids were sick, and it was like, we're going to do this tonight. We're going to get hot chocolate and go do this thing tonight. But you're looking at the kids, and they're like, I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I know we're trying to create memories here, but I want to just stay alive.
I
So
want to be
yeah,
home.
I got to make it back to school somehow.
Yeah. I mean, that's what my dumb dad moment was in the last podcast of wanting to go to the zoo and trying to push our son to do it.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's all fine. You're fine, right? You're fine? Hey, wake up. You're fine?
I did have a dumb dad moment over the break.
Well, I mean, we both probably had quite a few, but yeah,
Yes,
you got one that stuck out to you?
I have one that's kind of stuck out. So we got the kids for Christmas. Their big kind of gift was they got scooters.
When I got here tonight, I walked through the gate. I was like, man, scooter game is strong. I saw them out the back.
Yeah, and
we got money.
We got the kids each a scooter, and then we got ourselves a scooter.
You and your wife got one?
We just got one to share, but yeah. And here's the reason why.
It's a razor. It's got a brake. You can do flips and tricks. You can go to the skate park on it.
Can we? Oh my God! Did you ever have a razor?
I did because someone gave one to me that they didn't want anymore.
I mean,
when
that thing catches you in the shin or ankle, the pain is on another level.
Like momentary lapse in memory and blackoutness.
Yes. My daughter, I hit myself, I think, in the ankle and shin. Already have had it, a couple weeks. And I think I did it all in the first week.
Yeah.
My daughter hit herself in the ankle, and she was just like, on
the bone.
And I was like, what happened? What happened? She goes, I hit my ankle with the razor. And I was like, oh yeah, you just got to ride out the pain, man.
Yeah.
That'll take as long as you need.
You're going to feel that for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So the reason we got that is because also my brother and sister-in-law got their kids scooters. The reason for that is walking them to school has become such a dumpster fire with them because they just go so slow. They just chat and kind of like,
yeah.
And it's just,
and you're like, it's a 5-minute walk, and you're turning it into a 15-minute stress fest.
I mean, yeah, because then you're stressed. Like the bell's about to ring. This is insane.
Yeah. You cannot ever be late to somewhere that we can see.
Yes.
When we start going
from
there.
The front of the yard. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It can't happen.
So we're like, they all got scooters, so it's like it's a gift for us. We'll see when they.
I think.
Yeah.
Mark the time when he said it's a gift for us when it is. They aren't even
so
within
far
20, 30 yards of each other.
So far, it's great.
Yeah.
It's going to turn someday.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
We'll just wait for that day. We'll be very patient, and you'll let us know when that day is.
So we had a good situation where we brought them, like we did Christmas morning at our house.
Yeah.
Kids woke up, got all their presents, played, and then I was like, all right, pack up the car, we're going to, their grandparents. So we brought the scooters with us because my parents live in a gated community, so there's not any through traffic, and it's a 55 plus, so people are pretty safe drivers. They're all driving pretty slow.
And it's a desert community, so there's plenty of smooth non-hill asphalt.
I mean, their roads are real smooth. And their side,
they don't even know what a hill is.
So that was great because that was how we started, and them like really playing with it, which was great. It was like a perfect introduction to it because our roads and sidewalks are not that. There's sometimes where you have to stop and step over this giant crack.
The sidewalks are worse. Actually.
They're a nightmare. The sidewalks are worse. So I was riding with my daughter, and we were going to the pickleball courts. We played a lot of pickleball over the break.
Yeah, baby.
So when they were like, do you want to go play pickleball? I was like, yeah. And I said to my daughter, I was like, should we ride our scooters there? And she was like, absolutely. So I was like, great, let's go. And we rode, and we took a long way. We're just taking our time because they weren't quite ready to leave yet. So we were just leaving early. We're going. And I know this isn't a dumb dad moment that's my fault, but it still felt like a dumb dad moment that was my fault because we're just riding, and then just moseying along, just chatting. And because kids are so smart, she just goes, let's go this way, and just cuts in front of me. And there was nothing for me to do but just to bowl her over. I smashed up her foot with I ran over her foot with a razor.
God.
she was like scream crying. There was like cars passing, and I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Just waving him on through. You know, she took her shoe off. And I was like, look, and I was like, did I break your foot? And I didn't. She was fine. But she was like crying and stuff. And I did that parent thing. I was like, the dumb parent thing where you go, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm not wrong, but it's like, oh, you probably wait a little bit before
you asked her a question she cannot answer.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was, listen.
Unless she said, cousin mate.
Well, it was funny.
How about that?
it was funny because her story changed, which was so funny. By the time we got her all like not upset anymore, and then we rode the rest of the way to the pickleball courts. By the time we caught up with the family, the story had changed, and I had to adjust it.
She had been dead for 2 minutes.
Yeah. No,
when I came to,
it wasn't that. It was like, I was like, listen, you can't just swerve in front of people. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, it's probably best it was me, and she's not doing that with like cars or anything like that. It's like she didn't really get hurt. It was fine.
Yeah.
So it was like a good opportunity to have a conversation. I was like, I've been talking to you about how you've been riding. You can't do that. You can't assume the world is moving over for you. They're not.
I mean, what an LA driver move. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's like just driving around like there's no one else driving.
Yes. It's a nightmare out here. So we had the talk, and she was like crying. She's like, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, it's all right. It's an accident, but I'm just telling you, you can't be doing that. And she was like, there was something in my eye. And I was like, what? There's something in your eye? And she's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So then we get to the pickleball courts, and she tells Mom, she was like, I got something in my eye and swerved in front of Dad, and he hit me. And I was like, that's not what happened. You said, let's go this way.
Yeah.
And cut right
to the eye doctor. And you didn't hear me say that part.
No, you might have gotten something in your eye when I smashed you into the ground. But it was one of those moments when the cars are driving by. I was like, I feel terrible.
I'm standing here and you're crying, and it's like your fault, but it's my fault.
Yeah, exactly. So
it is your fault.
It's good to ride.
It is your fault. You know why? Because if you rear-end somebody, guess who gets the ticket? You do.
I T-boned her.
You didn't have.
Well, I didn't rear-end her. I T-boned her. So you got to go to the footage.
Yeah.
You know. That it's probably going to be both people's faults. The insurance is just going to have both of you kind of not going to cover either of you.
I caught a foot injury too this holiday break. It wasn't too long ago, or it was towards when the guys like installed everything, and I was trying to put those trees up.
Yeah.
Our garage is a manual closed garage with a physical handle. You have to like turn the handle to release the latches on the inside of the door.
Oh, really?
That you have, and then pull up. So, right. So very old school,
yeah.
And it's aluminum, which is like soft, which means the metal is sticky. So when the weather changes, it's finicky to open. Mm-hmm. It's one of those garage doors where it's like, you couldn't open it. I can open it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the electrician shut it. And the way that they shut it is not the way you need to shut that door. So I went out there to go get those trees, and I'm thinking like I'm just going to do this real quick. And 10 minutes later, I don't have the door open. And I'm trying to like find the pressure point where it's stuck, and I'm pushing my hip against the garage, you know. And you know when you try to usually when you try to open something, and this could be this could be a jar of pickles or something like that, where you think, I've kind of exhausted my level B effort in opening this, which should have already taken care of it.
Yeah.
And now I need to go like full adrenaline to get it open.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. How quickly your frustration level goes to like a 10.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now this is something so stupid that I took like half a year off my life to try to open it really quick.
Yeah. Like your lower back side starts to hurt because you're exerting so much.
I almost pulled a muscle in my neck to try to get something stupid open. And I was at that point with the garage, and I decided to take a second. So I turned away from the garage and stepped on the crack near the end of the garage and just absolutely rolled the out of my ankle. Put the bone on the cement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you didn't pull it? Like you were fine. You didn't actually like...
I sprained the out of my ankle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. The bottom of my foot's all purple right now. And like, I did it because I walked away for a second of being so annoyed that I couldn't open my... to calm down.
How mad were you?
I was like, I was pissed. Because it was like, anytime you sprain your ankle that bad, you don't know how bad it is until about 60 seconds later.
Yep.
And it was doing it started to get to the point where it was like hurting so bad that I was like, I was outside by myself, but it needed to be quiet around me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I know exactly.
I'm going to stay out here for a minute because I already know that this is going to hurt for a week. In that moment, I knew it was going to hurt for a week.
When did you do this?
4 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Felt great. Yeah. So like, that's like, I'm not sick anymore. Let's find another way.
Yeah. Yep. Let's find another way to make me not ever be at 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. My dumb dad moment.
I don't have time to feel this way. I don't have time to feel this way.
I don't have time to feel like this.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I mean, that's the episode title for sure.
Yep.
2025.
2025.
I don't have time to feel
like this.
So my dumb dad moment over the course of it was kind of a joint effort situation with my wife.
Great.
Over the holiday break.
You gotta love it.
Dumb dad moment brought to you by Educational Moments.
Mm-hmm.
Just transparent educational moments.
Mm-hmm.
And we taught our son about serving size.
Serving size.
Yeah. Innocent, right?
So, like, because he read a box and it said servings.
Yeah, like, what does that
20?
mean?
How are there 20 in here?
Are there 20 of that? What does that mean?
Gotcha.
Told him all about it. Okay.
Great.
So now, when it's like, and this is like every day.
Uh-huh.
And this is every day after saying, don't worry about that. But every day, he comes in from his room where they both have like candy bags, where they have like their personal stash from Halloween, Christmas, whatever.
Yeah.
Birthday party stuff. It's like, this is my stuff.
Yeah.
Put it in your room. And they do a good job of like, they don't like sneak the candy or whatever. They always ask if they can have a piece. So it's like, put it in your room. But he comes out now and he's got like, what was like a bag of, I don't even know, malted chocolate balls or something like that, Christmas thing.
Uh-huh.
But it's in a big bag.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he's like, can I have a serving of this?
Oh, man, that's annoying.
It's like so stupidly annoying.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. A serving is 8 pieces. You don't need 8 of those. He's like, well, serving size is 8. I know. You're a kid. Those are adult serving sizes. Well, it doesn't say adult serving. It's like, what are we arguing about? The FDA and what they determine is like, damn it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like you lose when you try to win, you lose anyway. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we had educational conversations on the car ride to my parents' house, because we were listening to Christmas music, and some religious song was on, and she was like, "So talk to me about Jesus," and I was like, "Okay, what do you want to know?" And she's like, "Why do they call him the Lamb of God?" And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be weird." So, before Jesus, when people used to sin, what's a sin? Sin's a mistake, like an error, jerk or whatever. I was like, people would kill a lamb and offer it up.
If you're driving on your scooter and you just pull in front of somebody, that's a sin.
Yeah, it's a sin. I was like, well, they used to slaughter lambs and offer them up.
What's slaughter?
To God. They were like, I think she did say it was slaughter. I was like, kill. And then
put it very simply.
Just kill. They'd offer it up to God. They would kill a lamb and offer it to God. Now, I know it sounds pretty wild. Anyway, then Jesus came and he was
never had like
the Lamb of God. What does that mean? It means we killed him. We what?
I know, God. How far down into this truth hole do I need to go?
Well, it just... Oh, Michael Bublé's on. Let's just turn this one up.
I love this one. He's got such a classic voice for a young guy.
What a nightmare. Educational conversations are so fun.
Oh, man. It's true. Like, how I think it's important to be honest with your kids.
Yeah.
But you can do it to a fault sometimes. Because it's like, I can be... there's a difference between being honest with your kids and being overly honest with your kids, I guess.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't. It sounds like you're like, I don't. I feel like I'm past the line, but I can't stop talking.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out of my mouth is a new word you're asking about, and that is a scary word too.
I mean, the whole thing is just anytime you're explaining that stuff, they're like,
yeah.
Why did we kill him? I was like, well, that's what you're gonna get in the weeds on that.
No, yeah, we're already there.
Yeah.
And now you're asking me what kinds of weeds they are? I don't know.
Listen, we can talk about this at Easter. This is the birth story. We don't need to concern ourselves. Don't skip to the end of the film.
Yeah.
We're in the first act now. Wait until you find out how they were going to kill him as a baby and they had to flee. What?
But here's a goat.
Yeah.
Sorry, a lamb.
All right, let's move on to reading a submission.
Yep.
Guys, if you want to submit a story, we'd love to read it. You can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram @thedumbdads, or you can write them in. We've gotten a couple people handwritten notes, which is really fun.
So do it.
In our link tree, you can find our address, which is like the little hyperlink that's on our social media and in our show notes. You can find where, if you wanted to mail, where our P.O. box is. So yeah, let's read our submission. This is from Brett, and let's see what Brett has to say. Thanks for the podcast and the weekly reminder that I, dumb as I am not alone as I fumble my way through parenting. No.
You got it, buddy.
No, you're not.
You're not alone.
And we're not alone either. I was debating writing in with a recent Dumb Dad moment when your discussion at the end of a recent episode regarding leaving your sunglasses inside when you walk back in for something else reminded me of one of my dumber moments from this summer. I do that, and it does make me mad. I was responsible for getting my girls 1 and 3 at the time to swimming lessons for a week, as my work schedule left me with every morning off. We got into a routine and smoothed things out a little more each day till I was feeling pretty good about my ability to get the kids ready.
You know what they call
to
that?
Go on my own.
A red flag.
Oh, yeah.
Are you feeling pretty good about yourself?
Parenting? It's going well? You forgot something.
Why don't you take a right in front of this person?
Yep.
See what
life.
happens.
An emotional right. Then, the 3rd or 4th day, we were all loaded up. The girls were buckled. I was ready to pull out when I realized I needed to go back in for one more thing. That's the worst. I don't remember what it is now because all I remember is the sick feeling in my stomach when I came back out and checked to make sure I had locked the door behind me. It was at that moment that I realized that instead of putting my keys back in my pocket where I unlocked the door, I set them on the counter and never picked them up. So now I have kids in the car in midsummer heat and humidity and no spare key. That sucks.
That sucks. And I love the fact that he's listening to this episode going, oh, is it annoying to leave your sunglasses inside?
Yeah, I know.
That was annoying?
I mean, it is kind of because of the glare. You're just squinting the whole way. It sucks. I attempted in vain to open the little window above our kitchen sink, but since that was how I got in last time I did this, which is just such a great little
what a great detail.
Little Easter egg. I very smartly made sure it was latched much more securely from the inside so no one else could break in that way.
Why would you do that?
I know. I'm kind of on the fence about it because you're like, all right, well, that's a way to break into my house.
Why are you screwing your future idiot self over?
That's my way to break into the house.
Yeah. You got to have a way to get into your house when you when you can't get into your house.
We would leave my dad's bathroom window in the basement unlocked.
Ajar.
Unlocked, and then you just pressure hold it, squeeze it up, and then you just climbed in when we were kids. Anyway, my saving grace was that I had left the car running when I went in. So, number 1, the kids weren't melting all over the back seat. And number 2, I could drive the car as long as I didn't shut it off. I ultimately dropped the kids off at swimming lessons, still keeping the car running, before driving to my wife's workplace to grab her keys.
Oh, that's really smart. It feels really bold. I don't know why, because I totally understand. It's not like you're not just going to shut it off. But
yeah,
still the choice to like press on without the keys, because the further you get from your house, that's a lot more expensive.
It's scary. Yeah.
It's scary. Because you could I don't know, maybe your wife had the car keys. I think you go to swimming and just instinctively turn it off.
Right.
Even though you kind of know you're not supposed to.
My question
so
is...
many things that you do by force of habit that you could just do. Be like, oh, why did I just do that?
I know. Yeah, you got to be...
You got to be dialed in.
You got to be dialed in. No music. No podcasts. Stay focused. Stay on task.
You guys, let's sing a new song called Don't Turn the Car when we get there.
Do you know what he doesn't write in here that I'm curious? Brett, write in just to let us know. But it says, I ultimately dropped the kids off in swimming lessons. Does that mean you like dumped them and left? Or you stayed for the half-hour swim class with the car running and then grabbed them? I don't know.
How long was the car out there running by itself?
That's what I mean. I want to know how long the car was running by itself. Also, good thing that nobody just jumped in your car and stole it. Lesson finally learned. I now have a spare key hidden on the property, and I do a thorough pocket pat, phone, wallet, keys, before pulling the door shut behind me. Yeah, that's nice. Thanks again for building a community of parents who can share our stories, encourage each other, and find humor in our mistakes. Sincerely, another dumb dad.
That's great.
Thanks,
Thank you, Brett. Wow, that's...
I've locked myself out of... Have you locked yourself out of your current home yet?
No, not yet.
I've done it...
The power of yet. So we will continue to use that word.
The one time I can think of that I did it for sure, it was luckily like the spring when the weather is really nice here.
Yeah.
And all the windows were open. So I just had to remove the screen and climbed in.
Yeah. No, haven't done that yet. Expect to do it at some point.
I am so guilty of it. I mean, I lock every door instinctually. Like every time I come in, I'm like twist the lock every single time. I've locked my daughter outside multiple times where she's like knocking on the door like, I'd like to come back inside. She's in the backyard. Like she's in the backyard. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bud.
Front door locked like all day long, no matter what?
Yes. Yeah.
We do not.
So when...
Scare me. So it
was probably our first year in the house. We saw on our Ring camera that there was like some man like at our house looking like on our stoop, looking at our bushes, and then walked away. And I was like, what the hell was that? And then like when we got home, we were like, one of our neighbors like reached out to us and they were like, hey, just so you know, there's a guy on the run from the police. And we think he's armed. He might have hid a weapon on your property. And I was like, huh? So I looked on my Ring camera, and sure enough, the very guy they're talking about is coming up, and he sits on our stoop.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, and our front door was unlocked, and my father-in-law was home. Luckily, he never answered the door. Like, the guy didn't knock or anything.
Right.
He was just sitting there, and apparently he had a gun on him. And then he got up and walked away. And then the cops came to our house and talked to us, and it was really funny. They were like, do you mind if we search around your property? This man might have had a weapon. And they're looking around. They're not seeing anything. And I was like, what kind of weapon? And they were like, just a weapon. And I went, guys, I know you can't whatever, but like I have kids. Is it a gun? And they're like, yeah, it's a gun. I was like, okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, let's find it.
Well, yeah, which we didn't. He didn't end up ditching. And the person who I saw looking through the bushes was a neighbor who was like trying to make sure that there wasn't a weapon in there.
Yeah.
But after that, yes, front door stays locked all the time.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good reason to make me think about it when I shut the door. I appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
It was like we don't need to. It was just like, I don't know. It feels like I go out to the garage a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's dangerous out by the garage, man.
It's dangerous in that garage,
kinds of terrain. Roll your ankle.
You get a front. Yeah. Well, that's what's good. If there is a criminal, he'll roll his ankle before he gets in your house.
Yeah, he's be falling up to the front door. I need some ibuprofen, stat.
Nice try, criminal. No, really, I just rolled my ankle.
Yeah, it's so bad out there.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. I hope you have
man, happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
What are you looking forward to this year, Kev?
What am I looking forward to?
Yeah.
I was just kind of talking to my wife a little bit about it. It's like our kids are growing up, and it's exciting, and like it's obviously like bittersweet. It's sad to be like, well, they're not babies anymore. But then it's also like the more independent they get, the cooler and more relaxing that is at times. So I don't know. I just kind of look forward to them growing up more, seeing what they're going to be getting into. I feel like my son this year will probably be getting into, maybe he'll start getting into different things. Maybe not. I mean, he has a Dino Floor is Lava stan.
The floors, I mean, like, The dinosaur one that he's like kind of always been into dinosaurs. There was a 6-month period. Yeah. It got real dicey. And he didn't, not only was he not into me, he said he didn't like them anymore.
Yeah.
It was real dicey. But now he's back. He's been back. But like, I don't know, hundreds of millions of years old. There's a cool factor there that you just can't shake.
For sure.
Which is why they're still cool.
And he's still adamant he wants to be a paleontologist.
Yeah. But the fact that he kind of still hangs around playing Floor is Lava, almost concerning. I mean, we're kind of done with that.
We're not. We are very
He's
much not. And I need to maybe...
But, you know, had a moment there where it was like a Netflix thing. Did you know that they put that inside the old IKEA? Oh, that's cool. Wow, it's fun to watch. I don't understand the writing on this show. Is it a swimming pool of blood? What's happening? It was all really fun. It was really, really fun for like 7 months. Mm-hmm. But he's like 4 years into it, like... I mean,
2 years. It's
kind
been
of
really,
plays
really
it every day of his life. I don't understand.
I think we have to get him in like one of those ninja gyms.
I think
and have him take classes because he's just constantly jumping on things.
We're going to send my son to one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a ninja gym. It's like a free running kind of gym.
Yeah.
Because they both are taking gymnastics. My daughter is obsessed with gymnastics.
Yeah.
She does and practices gymnastics like 5 or 6 times a day. She does it in the house. We have to tell her to stop. We bought her a little mat so she could do it outside. Like constantly practicing doing the splits, seeing how far she can get to. I'm like, my son goes to gymnastics, really enjoys being at gymnastics.
Yeah.
So I think it's like he likes having an activity and going and doing something.
See, my son is more like your daughter.
He doesn't really seem like he loves gymnastics.
Right. He liked having a schedule.
But yeah, he likes having something to go do. So we're like, let's try this other thing, like free running kind of thing.
Yeah.
A few times he said like, not that it's a bad thing at all, but he's like, there's like no boys here.
Yeah.
I get it. He wants to play with boys sometimes.
Most of his girls are gross.
Most of his closest friends at school are girls, but he's also like, there's like no boys that do this at all. So we're like, well, I bet I could find something. I know of something that is similar to this, less structured in terms of how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have a lot of grace in him right now. Doesn't have that yet.
Yeah. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't.
But like running over, jumping something, doing a flip into a, foam pit might be more his jam. So we're going to try that and see what he thinks. I bet he's going to dig it right away.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be sort of one of the things we are doing this year. I'm looking forward to that as well. But I think see where he goes with that. But yeah, kids, I mean, I agree with you. The further away we get, sometimes the more I feel that, I mean, I get why people have I get why people have like 2 kids and then another kid that's like 6 years younger than everybody else.
I 100% get it. 100% get it. I don't want to do it.
We can't do it because we got vasectomies, but I feel that moment every once in a while.
Yeah, same.
But I also think that's also, I mean, obviously that's also part of parenting, no matter when the last kid you had, there's also that's all going to go away at some point. They get older and new phases and new opportunities come, and it's enjoyable to see that as well. I'm just so looking forward to the tour.
Very excited for the tour. If you guys don't know, haven't seen us posting on our socials, the Dumb Dads are going on tour. We are going to Pittsburgh, Philly, Boston, D.C., New York, and then we're also going to San Diego.
Yeah, those are the for sures.
Those are the for sures.
For sures. We're trying to work on more cities, so hopefully one of those is a city near you.
The link is in our show notes to get those tickets. We'll have it in our link tree as well. Check it out. Come on out. Tell your friends and family. We'd love to sell these shows out. We'd love to sell out all of them, but let's sell out a couple for sure. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to that as well.
So yeah, I mean, big things. I'm always, and that included, I would also say I'm always just looking forward to find new ways to expand like what we create or offer. Like what are the new things that we can work on? So I don't know what that is yet, but I assume that we will find our way.
We're going to come up with some pretty fun stuff for 2025.
Yeah. So thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for listening. Cheers to a new awesome year, and we're looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
I got a joke to kick off.
Take a joke.
New Year's episode. Ready? Here we go. You know what each and every year always has in store for us consistently?
What?
365 days.
That's not though. Leap years.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said each and every year. What most years.
We'll leave it there. 2025 is great.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?
The Dumb Dad Podcast is proudly presented by Bet Online.